Hi guys, this is AC Gamer back with another video on Tower of Fantasy. For some reason my voice sounds absolutely weird and I don't know why, but I just can hear myself right now and it does not sound like my regular voice. So I do apologize if you guys can also notice a difference with my voice. But anyways, in today's video what we're going to be doing is talking about the revenue, going over the revenue for Tower of Fantasy for the month of December, the last month of 2022. So hopefully you guys are excited for the new year for Tower of Fantasy. Happy New Year guys as well. You guys lived to see this amazing new year. Hopefully 2023 will give us amazing stuff as well. So anyways, regarding the revenue for Tower of Fantasy, well, I did look at App Magic as well as Sensory Towers, and to be honest both of them seem to be the same. So regarding the revenue for Tower of Fantasy, it was 4 million for Android version as well as 1 million for the iOS. So in total that was 4 and 5 million in total for revenue for Tower of Fantasy. Now that was from Sensory Towers. Now with App Magic, which also tells you which region are spending a lot more in the game, it is 5 million revenue overall as well, and it is 54% from Japan, 21% for the USA, and the rest are little amounts that you don't really need to bother about. But you guys can know or can see right now, the main server or the main region, sorry, that are spending money in Tower of Fantasy is the Japan region. So we would like to, you know, thank the Japan region for helping out with Tower of Fantasy. 54% from Japan region, so 2 million. So 2 million just from Japan, and the 3 million is from other regions as well combined. So that is actually pretty good. Now in terms of the download, so download was only about 200k. So I'm not gonna lie, that is a little bit less. That's like quite low. Sorry, not less, that is quite low. Actually, is that low or good? I'm not really too sure actually. But most of the downloads were from the USA as well, and then Brazil, then Japan. But I feel like the main people now who are spending in the game are the people who are being like day one, know that this is going to be a game they're going to stick with and all of that stuff. I personally, like I said, I did make a video saying I was going to stop spending in a game. I will officially stop spending right now. I did spend like £10 to do a multi, but I will absolutely be spending £0 on the game moving forward. Not to say that the game is bad, I just feel like it doesn't worth spending money in Tower Fantasy anymore for my account. But anyway, tell me down in the comment section if you think the revenue is good. I do feel like 5 million is okay. Now if you compare it with other gacha games, then 5 million will be absolutely amazing. Take a look at 7 Deadly Sins. But in regards to Tower of Fantasy, where you do need heavy investment in terms of developing new map, developing new content, I feel like the revenue should definitely be double compared to regular gacha games, because you're going to need that investment to make other content for the game. Now obviously Tower of Fantasy, they also have the CN version where a lot of whales are also spending in the game. That's just going to help out in Tower of Fantasy to develop it as well. So 5 million from the global region. However, there is still more from the CN region, and if you combine that together, that is going to be a good amount for Tower of Fantasy to create good content in the future. But 5 million, I do feel like 10 million, if they were getting 10 million, I would say that is absolutely amazing. 5 million is good, like it's actually good, but I would say 10 million is where I would say, yeah, this is where you want to be, because Tower of Fantasy has only been out for, I believe, October. No, it's been out for like 6 months now, 7 months, 8 months. And that is actually good for Tower of Fantasy. 5 million still. I just hope moving forward the revenue remains or maintains 5 million. Now if you think about it, the banner that came out in December were not really that hype, but however we did get a bunch of rerun banner, and we also got a bunch of banners just coming out straight away, so it definitely enticed and made people spend more in the game than they actually intended. So maybe that's why the revenue is also high. But don't forget there's also the mid-buy what's it called, page where you guys can also buy packs in for Tower of Fantasy rather than buying it in the Google Play Store. So the revenue I just spoke about was just from the Google revenue. We don't know how much they are earning from the other services that you can spend money on, so maybe that will bump up the revenue to 6 million or something like that. But considering there is no promotion right now for mid-buy, sorry, mega buy, I don't know what's called, I've forgotten, but considering there is no promotion for that, I don't think that much money will be coming from that side. But yeah, 5 million is a good amount. I just hope moving forward they can maintain that or possibly get 10 million. There was no really any hype banner that came out in December, but to be honest, I don't even think any new characters are hype in the global audience eyes, because I think when Lin came out, every other character that came out were just like, yeah, they're all right, they're good characters. I feel like if a character is absolutely like meta broken or meta defining characters, then yeah, obviously a lot of people will spend. But right now I don't feel like anyone cares about the future well, no one cares as much about the future characters compared to like Saki and Lin. I feel like the future characters like Yumi, I've already forgotten the names of the future characters. It just shows that yeah, the future characters are not as hyped as the characters we've gotten so far in terms of the audience love for the character. So maybe the revenue might not increase even more if moving forward to Tower of Fantasy with other banners coming out, but I do think this is a good amount. Now I will say this, Tower of Fantasy, I will say that they need to definitely step up and improve the game a little bit, more specifically the fact that a lot of free-to-play players are feeling overwhelmed. However, I will say this, just don't summon on every banner, or don't attempt to summon on every banner. I just feel like if you guys just save materials for like 2 months or 1 month, I know it's a hard thing to say, but just save and then you should be able to get the next character that comes out. But to be honest, if you think about it, saving isn't really an option. It's more like the game's forcing you to save, because there's no reason to attempt to summon on a banner if you can't get to pity, because you're just basically losing out on materials and you're basically using your crystals for no reason. It doesn't help you, and you should definitely not do that. Now I will say also that they should push up the standard banner in terms of adding the limited characters into the standard banner. So Nemesis and Claudia and Frigg, I absolutely want them to be added into the standard banner, because if you're going to speed up the banners and speed up the progression for the global server to catch up to the CN server, then you might as well also speed up the standard banner and put all these characters into the standard banner so we can actually start building them up. Because obviously when Umi comes out or when some of the other Vaults characters comes out, Nemesis is going to be like, you know, out of meta, so you might as well just add them right now so we can all enjoy using Nemesis or Claudia or Frigg. Now, if you want to compare the revenue of Tower Fantasy to previous months, the highest I believe they've ever earned was like 30 million, and right now we're getting like 5 million, which is actually not that bad. Well, actually, it's a kind of big drop. It's a big drop, definitely a big drop from 30 to 5. However, they're still able to maintain that 5, especially when the banners that came out weren't that really hype. But I do feel like a lot more people are going to be spending less in the game moving forward, and I don't think they will be getting new players into the game because the new player experience isn't that good. I feel like server merge will be the way to go with Tower Fantasy instead of that server transfer. I feel like that's just absolutely boring and not really that useful compared to like server merges. But anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about in today's video. Stay tuned for more content on Tower Fantasy. If you guys don't want to miss out on future Tower Fantasy content, make sure that post notification is on. It's your boy AC Gamer, and I'm out.